Welcome to a Minion's Guide on riding sport bikes. For Minions! Let's start with the most obvious thing that everybody keeps telling me to do, which is just grow. So I figured why not start adding this stuff to my diet. But if Miracle Grow is not an option for you, you may be thinking about lowering your bike. But let me give you some tips before you pick up a set of lowering links. If you're not a brand sucker, some motorcycles I would recommend are the GSX-R, any of the Hondas, and the BMW S1000RR. And if you're not too vertically handicapped, the Panigales is a good choice too. It has a really narrow tank and a really narrow seat that makes it a little easier for your short ass to touch the ground. Now, if you have little syndrome, you might be thinking about buying one of these things to take to your local coffee shop. First thing you may want to consider is shaving your seat. Some seats are really thin, but I think you can get at least an inch or so off just by shaving certain parts. I'd spend the money and take this to an upholstery shop, but if you want to do it yourself, everything's just held on by staples. You pull the cover off and then take a blade and start shaving. And you may want to sand it down afterwards to make it nice and smooth, but even an inch off is an inch increase, you short fuck. Now, if you're not too worried about being comfortable, because it's already pretty uncomfortable to ride a tall bike as a Minion, just rip the foam off of this and ride straight on the plastic. That'll give you at least 2 inches. Here's what I look like without this. Ow. 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 Here's what it looks like with the seat. I am on a little bit of an incline, but this is what it looks like. All right, no seat. Not bad. A little bit better, and this is on an incline. I got really excited about that one, holy shit. Now, if you don't want to shave the seat because it looks stupid and your ego's too big, you're just gonna have to learn to pick a side. You either have your right foot down or the left. It's just gonna depend on a lot of factors. Is the ground closer to one side than the other? Is your bike on a slope? Are you facing downhill or are you facing uphill? Now, if you are on a hill, whether it's going down or going up, here's what you need to get used to. Holding this front brake down. What I like to do is keep one finger on the front brake, and when I'm ready to take off, I'll put the bike in a gear, and I'll roll on the throttle while releasing the clutch slowly until I can feel that friction zone holding me up. And then I'll gradually let go of the brake, and suddenly I'm climbing that hill. And going downhill is a lot easier. You're just coasting down a hill. And you can just as easily keep the bike in gear the whole time and the clutch engaged if for some reason you can't put that right foot down and you're stuck with everything on the left side. I watched another video with Scribble on a motorcycle about what she does when she pushes the bike around. She said rather than pushing it from the kickstand side, she goes around the bike and moves the bike around from this side and keeps the bike's weight on her hip. I gotta disagree with Scribble on this one. So one of the key principles to motorcycle riding is balance. The main reason I move my bike around from the kickstand side is because it's a better balance between me and the motorcycle. If you lean the motorcycle towards you, all your weight is on this side, and it's more likely that the bike is gonna want to push this way. And what's on the left-hand side? The kickstand. The only thing stopping the bike from falling this way is me. And I'm not trying to have no bike fall on my little legs. I need these suckers. I just realized I never told you guys how tall I is. Here we go. I'm about 5'5". Alright, so here's a couple more things you may want to know. Lowering the bike is not the end of the world. If you see yourself doing more street riding, mobbing around the highways, even occasional canyon runs, go ahead and lower it like an inch. I personally think enjoying the ride is going to be a lot more important than trying to look cool at the sacrifice of comfort. Part of the reason I don't street ride so much is because it's really uncomfortable for me as a short rider to ride these ridiculously tall motorcycles. I'm always at stoplights doing the Harlem Shake or playing the slow race at stop signs and stoplights just so I don't have to put my feet down. You don't need people like me to tell you that it's stupid to lower your bike. It's gonna change the performance. It's gonna fuck with the geometry. Stop being a little blah-de fucking blah. That's all I got. I thought I would have more. Oh yeah, I was gonna talk about setting up your suspension to its softest, but if you're riding at one edge of your recommended sag, it's gonna be really unsafe. Don't soften your suspension just so you can touch the ground. But don't listen to me. Do whatever you want. I'm gonna go make some coffee. Oh, fuck. I'm so short I couldn't even reach the record button.